Welcome back to the Capital Mindset Show. Today we're going to be discussing iRobot and the potential opportunity that lies within this company. So I've talked to you guys within the community a lot on this here and there, and I'm going to be talking about it here on YouTube now. So iRobot is a company that, they sell the little vacuum cleaners. You might have been seeing around the Roombas, etc. And it is a very competitive industry, but we know something. Amazon wants to buy them. And by the way, if you've been involved in the market for quite some time, at least you should have been involved at least up until 2016, 2017, around there till now. So shout out to you and comment down below if you have been and you remember when the rumors were circling around all that time ago. So now we are where we are now. And yes, the rumors were true the whole time that Amazon wanted to buy iRobot. Now, people often say to me, well, Amazon's kind of losing its touch here. It's trying to become a conglomerate of sorts. It just wants to be the next General Electric. I push back on that. I would love to kind of maybe address that more in depth in a live stream, maybe kind of go back and forth with people who do believe that. But I think that iRobot it makes sense from a perspective of data, right? They want the data. They don't want the robotics. They have a way better robotics division inside of Amazon than what iRobot can offer. It's all about the data. And what they can do with the data, if you haven't seen my Amazon video, go check out the Amazon video, the newest one that I just posted. I talk about the need for data and the advertising segment being the most exciting part of the business. So this acquisition makes sense under that context. It is data that is very difficult to replicate. They would have to build out a vast network of robot vacuum cleaners that are mapping out people's houses. Why would you waste all that time instead of just buying it for $1 billion something, which is pocket change to Amazon? It makes sense from a corporate level. So it is not the vacuum cleaners, but that could be like maybe icing on the cake that they could make their money's worth over time and basically get that data for free and leverage it to create other better value elsewhere. So the risk here, honestly, is what happens when or if the regulators in the United States or in Europe, specifically the UK, deny the deal. Well, you're going to end up being stuck with this business. So iRobot, being the vacuum cleaner, you want to say, what am I stuck with if it fails? Very similar question you might ask with Activision Blizzard. If you're new to the channel, go check out my content back in 2022 and 2021, where we talked about Activision, acquired Activision, etc. And the same analysis was brought forth when their acquisition by Microsoft was occurring or like was about to occur, let's say, depending on when you watch this, because it hasn't occurred as of filming this video. So fingers crossed, I might have jinxed it. So you want to actually pay attention to what is the underlying business that you own at the end of the day. What's the quality there? So with iRobot, I'm not going to bear the lead. It is not a high quality business. It is a fair business. And, well, the question is this a fair price for a fair business? Well, I don't really know the answer to that just yet. Let's explore. So with iRobot, again, vacuum cleaner, basically hardware business, you see that the gross margins have been, fairly declining. There's no other way to say it. They've been coming down, and you can see that they used to boast gross margins in excess of 50% at one point in 2018. Now they've come down to about 29.5%. Keep in mind there has been inventory issues that have plagued not only iRobot but other businesses. But really the story is telling me here is you went from very low competition to a lot of competition. And if you don't know about the competition in the robot vacuum cleaner space, then I don't know, you live under a rock. You can go on Amazon itself and see for yourself how many robot vacuum cleaners you can buy now. There is not just Roomba, okay? Roomba had a much stronger presence in the past than it does now. Okay, so with the other parts of the business, okay, how profitable are they? Let's actually see, for example, in profitability, right there, net income to common shareholders, they are now operating at a loss. And even before, they weren't very profitable. They were operating on really thin margins. So when you kind of put that into perspective, it's kind of like, okay, well, if the deal doesn't go through, then I'm stuck with a low margin business, and it's not really all too healthy in terms of a balance sheet perspective. Because if I even pull up the balance sheet, we see that they have $118 million in cash. They don't have any debt, at least what it's reading here. But point being, it's not like a balance sheet fortress. It's not like this high value, super rich in cash business that you're basically buying the business for free because it has a ton of cash. It's not even like a value play per se. You really do have to bet on the operations succeeding in the future. And so right now, I feel like it might be a compelling play. And the way I would be playing this, and I might play it this way, is having a small position, not too crazy in it, but trying to capture maybe the speculation that it does go through. But I'd be very weary to put a huge portion of my portfolio into this name. Now, everyone's different. Someone else might decide differently than that, but that's my opinion, right? And how I'd kind of play this. I'd make it like maybe meaningful, but nothing that where if it doesn't go through, I have, a decent chunk of my portfolio held up in this company that I don't even really like. Now, there are some acquisitions that there are involving businesses that I do like again, Microsoft and Activision Blizzard. I like Activision Blizzard as a company by itself. It's a good company. And if it doesn't go through, I'm fine with holding that. Another one that you can kind of think of recently that's happening is Blacklight and International Continental Exchange, which is another company that serves its own video. And I might do a video on that one as well. So really, it's all about the nuance of the deal, and you really want to be careful with jumping into these merger arbitrage opportunities. In the original sense or meaning of the word arbitrage, it doesn't really fit that, but in the newer adapted version of the word merger arbitrage, making these plays, you do want to be weary about it, or just be cautious. Don't just jump into it. I know that, for example, Aerojet Rocketdyne had a failed merger, and if you had invested a lot of your portfolio in there, you would have done well, by the way, because it ended up getting acquired in the end by L3Harris. But that being said, like it could have gone wrong. It could have gone poorly. Okay. So all that to be said, iRobot looks interesting. Yes. Will I be buying it? Maybe. And how much? Not that much. Just kind of like a speculative play. I just wanted to give it a shout out and kind of bring it from the community, let's say private side now out to YouTube for you guys to check it out if you guys didn't know about this already. And it's kind of come down a bit. So we have seen the price actually suppress. I know that short interest is actually quite high now. So there's a lot of people betting that it doesn't go through. And believe me, if it doesn't go through, all those investors who are in it just for the merger arbitrage opportunity, you're going to see them run out the door, and you're going to see some pain in the short term. But yeah, I really wouldn't necessarily want to hold this business longer term. I might count myself among one of those people. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.